Hey guys, we're at ProveIt today with Amy Williams from Skellig, and she's going to take us through what problem they solved and how they did it.
Hey everybody, I'm Amy Williams with Skellig, and there's two things that you guys need to know in order to understand what we built today for ProveIt. Number one, we are specifically a life science systems integrator, and that industry is batch driven. Second thing that I want you to know is Skellig's mission is to help make healthcare more accessible in America. And the way that we plan on doing that is by using technology to increase production of therapies while reducing costs. So ProveIt, it isn't exactly a life science facility, right? This is a flexible manufacturing site. So we saw this challenge and thought, well, first off, great. We have no NDAs to sign, so we can build everything and share everything about it. So what we're going to do is actually show life science industry the art of the possible with this facility on how you can scale your batch solutions for less. Because honestly, the truth is, in our industry, most life science companies get trapped into vendor lock-in because of this batch functionality. They'll pick an engine that will only be compatible with exactly one type of hardware, that'll then only want to be compatible with one type of historian, that'll only want to play really nice with one type of MES system. What we're showing here today is by using a unified namespace architecture, you can achieve all of your compliant 21 CFR Part 11 batch functionality with solutions that are vendor agnostic, letting you pick best in class for each step of the process. So we developed a batch engine. We have some Tulip apps for the mandatory equipment tracking, deviation management for QA. We also have an enterprise historian because you have to track all your data. And we also have version control. All of that was about 480 hours, and I think it was about total price $230,000. But you have to understand that that is including all of the licensing costs. Our actual development time for all of these different solutions, I think, was around $60,000. So one of the first things that I want to talk about in our solution is the batch engine. In this case, we decided to use Ignition as our IoT platform that's able to provide the HMIs, again, with any kind of vendor of PLC that can connect into it. And honestly, between the Ignition connectors and Kepware, you can get it up and running. The other thing is the SEPA batch module integrates seamlessly into the Ignition platform, and I do want to highlight it is ISA 88 compliant. So we have our unit classes, we have procedures, unit procedures, operations, formulas, equipment allocation, all that good stuff, prompting with electronic signatures as well. And just so you know, just that SEPA batch module part comes in around, I think, $30,000. Now, for our enterprise historian, we're actually using Canary. And there's two reasons for that. First off, Canary has a wonderful MQTT connector. So as you saw in today's ProveIt challenge, everybody is kind of publishing flat MQTT. What's really cool with Canary is you can actually put in JavaScript there. So you can actually subscribe to flat MQTT payloads, use that JavaScript to format it into the timestamp quality value format that the Canary historian is expecting, and historize that data. It also has a native Sparkplug-B connector, so if you just send up your Sparkplug-B information, it'll also start historizing that right away. And I think the Canary historian was coming in right around like $15,000, and that quote was for a production system with redundancy, validation system, and a development system. The other thing that we brought as well was our documentation package, because you know it's a regulated industry, life sciences. So I'm just going to read off some of the things that we brought here to provide as examples. We have our ERES document, which is electronic records and electronic signatures. We have our functional requirement specification. We have our user requirement specification, and we have a regulatory applicability and impact assessment. Now, speaking of regulations, some other things that our solution has is, of course, 21 CFR Part 11 compliance. So that means with Ignition, we have our audit trails. We have lockdown based on secure user groups. As I mentioned with the batching, we also have the required electronic signatures. And actually for Git, and actually for version control, we are using Git, Because like I said, in life sciences, you have to have that development system, validation, and production. You can't just go straight onto prod. The FDA would lose their minds. So we're helping to use Git to have that very required and traceable version control in their system. The last thing that we have that is really important is in life sciences, you must have those electronic batch records, you must have that equipment tracking, and you must be able to report deviations. So what I want to do right now is actually hand it over to our MES expert, Hunter, who's going to walk us through that part of the demo.
Okay, so for our MES, we use Tulip. So for this, big thing is exception logging. So requirement for life sciences. So here we have our operator version or operator screen for logging an exception. So this is like a mobile app, so they can be able to log an exception on their phone, on a tablet, on the floor, anytime they find any issues. So I want to walk through a simple one. So basically we select whatever batch is running. So these are batches that are currently in progress. So I'll select one and, and for our demo purposes, we have some of this quick add in a description, quick add in our actions taken. For this we ran out of material, and our actions taken were that we added some more material. And then we can take an image as well. So I'll take a picture of this here, our bag of chips, and then we can add the image. And then we can submit the exception, and it will be logged to our Tulip database or the Tulip tables. As well, it will be sent to the UNS for ProveIt. So everything will be located there as well. And here's our information of our exception logged. So this is just the operator screen, but for someone who is like a supervisor, they would have a dashboard where they can see everything going on live. So they can see exceptions that were logged, they can see the current status of the equipment, and they can see the current progress for any batches that are ongoing. So we have a dashboard for that, as well as equipment manager, and if we want to calibrate the equipment or put it through any maintenance, it'll let the supervisor walk through that. We also have the exception manager for the supervisor, which will let them look at the logged exceptions, and it will allow them to close these exceptions in order to let the batch get approved.
I've got just a couple more questions for you. Why should somebody pick Skellig over another integrator?
Good question. So what's special about Skellig is we're actually a vendor agnostic system integrator. Yes, we have affiliates on our websites, but there are actually no ties associated with any of that. So we're able to actually do an evaluation for every project and determine truly what is the best in class tool for you. Now today, obviously we showed some of our favorites, but we understand that there are nuances. We understand that every site, especially the legacy ones, might already have some systems in place that they can't get rid of. That's fine. Our skill set is all about making the most of what you have, getting you the best price, and choosing the best in class solution. So I highly recommend talking to Skellig because you're going to get honest, unbiased opinions on really how you can be successful with your digital transformation.
Perfect. And for you guys, who is your ideal client?
Our ideal client is someone who is excited about actually changing life sciences and doing something better. There are a lot of clients out there who just like to stick to what they know, and that's not actually going to improve the industry. So we're willing to work with anybody, whether you're legacy or a brand new greenfield site, as long as you have the right mindset that yes, what we're doing, we can do better, we can do it safer, and we can do it cheaper, and we're willing to try new things. That's who we want to work with.
Perfect. And one last thing before we go, while you guys are here, what are you looking forward to the most about ProveIt?
Oh my gosh. So honestly, my favorite thing about being here at ProveIt is getting to meet everybody in the 4.0 community that you guys have worked so hard to build. It's really great being able to see people who we've been talking to on Zoom calls over the past 3 to 4 years. But in terms of presentations, I'm also really looking forward to Dell. I've heard they have some groundbreaking stuff at the edge that I want to check out.
Perfect. Well, thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you so much.